Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your host, Golden Zulu. So today we have another interesting example on producer together with consumer surplus, where they have said to say the demand and supply curves for a good are given respectively by the equation P is equal to 300 to the exponent negative 0.2q and P is equal to exponent 0.8q, where remember respectively meaning the order in which they have been mentioned. So will these equations bear the matching? So the demand is equal to P is equal to 300E, while the supply is P is equal to 2. So remember, at equilibrium, meaning where price and price are equal, the demand price is equal to the supply price. So we will just equate the two equations for us to find the value of Q and P. So this is how we will find the value for P and Q. So we know to say the demand function is given by P300 e to the power negative 0.2Q, and the supply is given by P is equal to 2E 0.8Q. Remember, they have said where the price is in equilibrium. So we'll just equate these to each other. So we'll have 2E 0.8Q is equal to 300 e to the power negative 0.2Q, where we know to say we can divide both sides by 2. So E 0.8Q is equal to 150 e to the power negative 0.2Q. Then you know to say in negative indices, a to the power negative 1 is the same as 1 over a, where we can remove this negative here. So we will remain with 150 e to the power 0.2Q e 0.8Q. Then from here we can cross multiply. So we will have 0.8Q multiplied by E is equal to 0.2Q equal to 150. Then from here, you know to say if the bases are the same, you can add the powers. So E 0.8Q plus 0.2Q is equal to 150. Then from here, 0.8Q plus 0.2Q will give you 1. So we will have 8Q is equal to 150. Then from here, you can introduce ln both sides. So we will have ln E equal to ln 150, where you know to say ln E is the same as 1. So before we punch, we can let this Q come to the other side, dropping it by logarithmic laws, where we have Q. Remember, ln E is 1. So we'll have our 1 like that. Then you know to say ln 150 is 5.01. So the value for Q in this case is 5.01. Then our main interest, so this is the quantity. For you to find the price, you use both equations. So we know to say we have the price for the demand function to be 300 e to the power negative 0.2Q, where your Q is 5.01. Then from here you can just multiply 5.01 multiplied by negative 2. Okay, negative 0.2 multiplied by 5.01. You will get your answer to be negative 1.002. Then we know to say we will punch. If you are using a calculator of such kind, you will punch shift exponent, then you get in negative 1.002, which is giving you 300 0.367. Then you multiply 300 multiplied by 0.367, and it will give you your answer to be 110.1. Then you have the price for the supply function to be 2E 0.8Q, where the value for Q, remember, is already known to be 5.01. So you just multiply 0.8 times 5.01, it will give you 4.008. Then again, you can punch shift exponent 4.008 multiplied by the same 2, it will give you 110.1. Remember, if you do not want to use this method, you can just go by the statement. Remember, they said the demand price is equal to the supply price. So this is how we calculate for the first question. So we have our price and we have our quantity here to be 5.01. So the second question here tells us to say we should calculate the consumer surplus, where you know to say consumer surplus is where you integrate the demand function in respect to dq minus pq, like that. Where you know to say the demand function in this case is 300 e to the power negative 0.2q minus, where remember p is 110 together with q, which is 5.01. Then you know to say the integral of 300 exponent, remember you will differentiate this. The derivative of negative 0.2q is negative 0.2. So you will get the reciprocal. So you will have 300 divided by negative 0.2 e negative 0.2q minus 110.1. Okay, let's just get 110 times 0. That it will give you 551.1. So from here you can just divide here. 300 divided by negative 0.2, you will get your answer to be negative 1500 e the power negative 0.2q minus 551, like that. Where you know to say the value for q, remember we are always starting from 0 going to what we have been given, in this case 5.01. so from here we can just do the mathematics nicely, where we know to say we have the value for q in this case to be 5.01 minus 551.1. so remember, so we'll say minus again negative 1500 e to the power negative 0.20, like that. So from here we can just, you know to say negative 0.2 times 5.01 is 1.002. so shift exponent, it will give you 0.367 multiplied by 1500, it will give you negative 550.7 minus 551.1. Then from here, negative times negative. Remember, this negative is coming as a result of the integral. When you want to separate these to form the two brackets of it, remember, you always have this when you do the mathematics, you always have 5.01 together with 0. So this is where this other bracket is coming from. Then from here, minus or negative times negative, we can just make it to be positive. So we know to say negative 0.2 times 0 is 1. Sorry, negative 0.2 times 0 is 0. Then n number to the power 0 is 1. So e to the power 0 here will give you 1. So 1 times this will give you 1500. Then from here, negative 550.7 minus 551.1 plus 1500 is giving you 398.2. So this is the consumer surplus. Then we are told again to calculate the value for the producer surplus, where you know to say in the producer surplus, we are using the supplies function, where you know to say the supply function in this case is 2E 0.8Q, where your P is 110 and your Q is 5.01, minus, where you know to say you need to find the integral of this, where you know to say you differentiate that power, so you will have 0.8, then you get the reciprocal, which is 1/8. It is the one you will divide with 2. So 110 multiplied by 5.01, it is giving you 551.1, minus, then from here you will have 2 over 0.8e to the power 0.8q. So the same is done as well. Remember, we are coming from 0 going to 5.01, where we'll be asked to separate these two brackets. So we are continuing. We know to say the rectangle is 551 minus, sorry, let me have the bracket there. Then we know to say we have 2 over 0.8e to the power 0.8q, like that. So this is the producer surplus that we have integrated, where remember we're coming from 0 going to 5.01. Then from here we'll separate these two brackets to suit the needs of these two. So we have 551.1 minus 2 over 0.8e 0.8q. So this will bear the 5.01 minus 2 over 0.8e 0.8q, and this will bear the 0 there. So we'll just replace, where we not say the value for q is 5.01. So we have 551.1 minus, where we know to say 2 divided by 0.8, it is 2.5. Then we just replace our q with 5.01. So we will just multiply 0.8 times 5.01. It is giving us 4.008. Then we know to say shift exponent 4.008. It is giving us 55.0. Then we can just replace also here on q with a 0. So we know to 0.8 times 0 is 0, then n number to the power 0. In this case, the e will be 1. Then 1 times this, it is giving us 2.5. Then from here, we have 551.1 minus, so 2.5 times 55, it is giving us 137.5 minus 2.5. Then we'll do match to put rectangular braces so that this negative does not interfere with what is inside here. So 551.1 minus, we know to say 137 minus 2.5 is 135. Then from here we can just subtract directly. 551.1 minus 135, we are getting 416.1. So this is the value for the producer surplus. Remember to subscribe. Thank you, your host, Golden Zulu.